guys, welcome back. This is Becky. Today I'm going to show you how to make spicy Vietnamese noodle dish called bún bò he, which is a central part of Vietnam. It's a very popular dish as well. It's one of my favorite. The following ingredients you will need are, this is beef shank, approximately 2.5 pounds. Also beef Hock with the skin, and this is about 2 pounds or so. Also you need table salt, 2 tablespoons, fish sauce, 3 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons annatto seed, chili powder, 3 tablespoons, shrimp paste, 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 whole medium onion, 3 stalks of lemongrass, 3 shallots, also equivalent to 3 tablespoons, and your rice noodle. Now I'm going to put my meat into my stock pot, which is 3 quarts of water. I'm going to pre-cook this for 10 minutes to remove the impurity of from the meat, so I can put this into the stock pot. Once it comes to a boil, then I'm gonna rinse it with cold water, and then I'm gonna add it to my stock pot. Okay, now it's 10 minutes. Now the impurity is floating on top above here, and then I'm gonna just take it to my sink and give it a rinse. I'm gonna toss the water out, cool it down, then I'm gonna rinse the meat. Okay, now it's completely rinsed. I'm gonna transfer this to my stock pot. Okay, my stock pot, I have 5 quarts of water. It's on the boil on high heat. I'm just gonna lower the temperature of the heat to low. Then I'm gonna add all the meat inside. Slowly. Slowly. Okay, then I'm gonna put the heat back on high and bring it to a boil. Once it's on the boil, I'm gonna lower it to medium heat and let it cook. Okay, my soup is boiled. Now I'm gonna add in my lemongrass. I tied it in a bundle with the string. And also I'm gonna add in my onion. 1 whole onion. Then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of salt. Then I'm going to close my lid and lower my temperature to medium-low. I let this cook for about an hour. Then my pork should be done. Now I'm going to make the shrimp-based broth. You can skip this step if you don't like the flavor. I have a boiling pot of water, 6 cups of water here on low heat. I'm gonna add my shrimp paste in there and make the broth. Add that all in. If you don't prefer shrimp paste, you can just omit that. If you don't prefer to add that in, that's fine. It just tastes more authentic for the dish. And just let that go and let it simmer about 5 minutes. And just gonna stir it in. Completely stir it in. And then just gonna cover it and let it cook for 5 minutes. And then turn off the flame. Okay. Now it's almost 5 minutes of cooking. I'm gonna skim off the foam. Remove that. so we can get a clear broth. Then next I'm going to turn off the flame and let it cool down for a good 15 minutes. So my pork is done cooking for 1 hour. I'm going to transfer it to my water bath so it can stop cooking. Reach in and grab just the pork. I'm taking out my pork and put it in the water bath. And my beef is still need to cook for another hour or so before it's done. I'm going to take it out of the pot and let it cool down in my ice water bath here. And then next I'm going to remove my onion that's been cooking for 2 hours. So discard that from the pot. And also the lemongrass. Okay. I'm just gonna use my clamp and take them out, which is fine. I'm gonna have it on high heat again, and then I'm gonna remove a little bit of the excess fat that's floating on top of the soup. I mean, you can leave a little bit, which is great, but I'm going to remove some of it. Okay. So it won't be so fatty. Okay. Then next, with my shrimp broth, which was already cooling more than 15 minutes, I'm going to pour in just the broth and leave the brine behind. It's going to settle down at the bottom, so I'm just pouring just the clear broth. That's the brine, the dark area there. I'm just going to leave that halfway there. And those are the brine left behind. I'm not going to use that. And then mix it well. Okay, and then next I'm going to make my sauté. So I'm going to turn it down my heat to medium. I have my frying pan here. I'm going to add in 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I'm going to put on medium heat. I'm going to add my annatto seed. I'm going to fry this about like a minute or so. This will give it a nice vibrant color to your soup. And it actually has a spicy, peppery type of taste. So you can use this instead of your chili powder if you prefer to. If you don't like the spiciness, you can just add this, and this will make a nice broth with the color, a nice vibrant color to the broth. So just let it stir for about a minute or two until the seed gets darkened. That means ready to remove it from the oil. Use a strainer, but if you don't have a strainer, you can use a spoon and separate that. After separating the seed from the oil using a strainer, make sure your frying pan is cleaned off. Turn your heat to medium. We're going to add in the oil back into the pan. So then I'm going to add in my shallots and the lemongrass. Mix it, stir fry it for about 2 minutes or so on medium heat. You don't want this to burn. Just keep mixing it evenly. After 2 minutes of stirring, I'm going to add in my chili mix, as well 1 tablespoon of the fish sauce. 1 teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of the sugar. Combine this well, stirring it frequently. Then I'm going to add in 1 spoonful of the broth to dilute the mix. Should be like a 1/3 cup. I'll add a little bit more. Let it simmer. Give it about 2 minutes. And the sauce will reduce down a little bit. I'm just going to let it simmer. Okay, the sauce is reduced. I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to scoop up possibly 1/3 of the sauce into my bowl. I'm going to discard the lemongrass. So we're not gonna use this. Discard this. And the rest goes into the pot, into my broth. Okay. And pour some broth here and rinse my pan and pour in the remaining sauce from my frying pan. Okay. Pour in the remaining fish sauce into my soup. The sugar as well. And then the salt. Give it a quick stir. Just gonna let it simmer for another 10 minutes. Okay, my meat's cooled down. I'm gonna cut the pork meat. I'm gonna cut in big chunks like this. And then the bone, you can put it back in the stock pot. Okay, I'm gonna put on my serving dish. I'm gonna cut this. It's been cooled down over 10 minutes already. Okay, I'm gonna cut it in half. Also another half here. I'm gonna slice it thinly. Just like that. I'm gonna cook my bun noodle. Bring the pot to a boil. Then add in 1 pound of rice noodle inside. Let it soften about 2 minutes and then you can loosen up the noodles so it can cook. It takes about 8 to 10 minutes until it's nice and soft. So every 2 minutes you want to stir the noodle, make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot or sticking to each other. Actually I lowered the flame to medium. Check once in a while to see if it's done, if it's al dente. It's almost done. I think it's going to be another minute or so before we strain the noodle. The noodle's done. I rinse it over cold water. So really quick. I'm going to toss it. Rinse it off. Cool down the noodle. Shake it. It's cooling down. Continue to rinse. After 10 minutes of cooking, I'm going to come back. I'm going to taste my broth just to make sure everything is enough. If it's too salty, you can add extra water every maybe 1 or 2 cups and bring it to a boil again and just try again to see if it's to your preference. If it's too salty, just continue to adding more water to the broth until the way you like it. But I'm going to try and see how it tastes. This is the way I like it, so I'm fine with that. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my heat. Now I'm going to serve my noodle. I'm going to put my noodle in the bowl. This will be my portion size. And my meat. Like this. Some pork. A little bit more. Okay. And my mince on top. Cilantro. Green onions. Okay. And I'm going to add my broth. Nice, rich, colorful broth. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of sauté for some extra heat. A little bit more. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of lime. This depends how sour you want it. I'm just going to add half a lime. Rinse. I like a lot extra green onions. This is my bumbo hue dish. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and watch my future videos. See you next time. Bye.